I think we need a purple halo eye. I do. I think that's where this day is headed. Also, I have this on, and this is from 𝗕𝗂 Beauty. I didn't know about them, but apparently they're big in Australia, I believe. I feel like there's so many brands that we don't really know about here in the US, and they're amazing. But this is the Peptide Lip Treatment in Vanilla Brulee, and it is so similar to this one. So I actually have this on, and I've used this all weekend, and I really like it. This one. This is going to be the one today. This is actually one of my favorite palettes of all time. This is from ColourPop. And I know a lot of us don't gravitate to rainbow every day, but I feel like with this price point, this is a really fun palette to add to your collection when you just feel like a pop of color, because there's just so many textures and options here. So this one has been one of my faves forever. We are going to stay up here on the top row today though. So there's certain shades, which we've talked about this a lot. Purple's one of them. They can be a more fragile pigment. It's just the way it is. I wish I knew the science behind it, but certain blues, but mainly purples and a lot of the times reds. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a white base from here to the brow bone. And then anywhere I'm going to add a dark purple like so, to make sure that it stays really nice and even and blends out beautifully. We're gonna do a darker base where that's gonna be placed. Yes, that rhymed. And let me put my jacket on. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to Europe on Saturday. Back out the country twice of 1 year. I'm going with a company, so it's not a brand trip. I actually do behind the scenes stuff. I can't tell you about it, but on Saturday and Sunday, I'm gonna turn on my phone and all of a sudden I'm going to be in a different spot. I know everybody's going to wonder. I don't really share a lot of my life. No particular reason, I just never have, and I've always wanted things to be focused just on makeup. It's just where I feel the most comfortable. But I mean, you're obviously going to see that the location is going to change, so I just wanted to tell y'all. But it's a work trip. We are going to fly into London and spend a day or two there. That one will be personal, but then I'm gone for like 9 days. So yeah, going to London and then Paris for the rest of the time on a work trip. It's wild. All right, so base. This is what I was talking about. I'm gonna do this dark brown base for the purple, but I'm not there yet. So I'm gonna start with my lighter base. And these are from Milk Cosmetics. I actually really like these bases. Look how nice and pigmented that is. I don't know what all that vocal fry is, but let's fix that. There we go. And then I'm going to take a dense brush. Ooh, that's nice and smooth. And remember, this is where the lighter colors are going to go. And we want them to really, really pop. Ooh, this reminds me of an old-timey Feral Monday. We used to always get the white base out. Pretty. Dense brush is going to get this really nice and smooth and even. This brush is actually sold out. That's so awesome. Thank y'all so much. It means the world to me that we're all using the same brushes. It's so cute. We're all using the same tools. And that warms my heart. And I just appreciate you so much. That is so satisfying to watch. The D1 is still there. Okay, I'm gonna brighten this side up just a little bit more. And I forget some of you are new friends here. And one thing that we're gonna have to do, because I know this is just absolutely horrifying, is we're gonna have to trust the process. Think of my face as a painting. It doesn't always start out the way that we're envisioning, but it gets there. Okay, so before we add the depth, let's go ahead and start on the lighter shade. Oh, this is gonna be so pretty. I feel like I need a shade lighter than this too, but remember, on Feral Monday, I kind of reach around and just grab all kinds of different palettes. I don't like to do that on normal days because I know that that's not realistic, but Feral Monday is, there's nothing realistic about it. Oh, that's pretty. So I'm taking a fluffier brush so I can pack, but then also diffuse, because I want to get a little bit more out of this in terms of transitioning to 2 shades. And you can get that a lot easier with a fluffy brush. And that's really going to make that pastel shade pop. Use the side to pack and then start to bring it up, and that's how you get the 2-for-1 special. 2 shades out of 1. This is what I was talking about. I just need the purple, and the reason I want that is because it's lighter and I want that to transition up to my brow bone. Perfect. This is actually one of my favorite palettes of all time as well. Now this one offers more textures, the ColourPop, but this one is just a really nice matte pastel palette, and it's something I actually reach for all of the time. Look how smooth that looks. Now we're gonna switch to a smaller brush, and we're still using the same shade. We're not getting wild yet. I'm gonna show you. We're still using this shade. By the way, that's a sequin, so it's a matte and it has a ton of sparkly glitter in it. So I'm gonna start to build. We're gonna work on the depth now. And even with this light of a shade, we can start our spotlight, halo, if you will, whatever we want to call it. So we're going to start to leave the center open right through here. We're still going to add our dark shade in a little while, but we're not there yet. I love makeup. Okay, I think now we're gonna switch to this shade. That is going to go right underneath. And we're still not to adding the brown. This shade should be good. And I should probably switch to an E27. But I have this on the tip of the brush, so I think I'm okay. I would definitely recommend a smaller brush if you haven't tried this style before. Really keeps you in control. But I'm not in control here. I'm out of control. And I'm just pushing. It gives you more control, and it's going to pack that color on more intensely. Doop, 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 doop. I'm excited. Oh, we're gonna take that big E29 again. And remember the first shade we started with, the sequin? I'm gonna take that and start to tap it just over the very top. And we're using this one because it's not going to deposit as much color, especially if you're using the tip of the brush. So we'll just tap right over, tappity tap, tap, tap. And it's going to really transition it, add that color into it. And then if we need to, we'll just grab our brush and add a little bit more depth again. I kind of do that a couple times to make sure that I have everything really nice and transition together, but then also built up enough. Just gonna let it run. And then fluffy. Now it's time for the dark. What shade is this one? Double shot? Yep. Okay, so what I think we should do is we should apply this with an E27 so we can get it really nice and tight. And remember, we're just gonna apply it on the outer part. Bonus points if you can do it to the drum fill. And then same thing, but I will say this base will dry down, so I'm gonna work one eye at a time. Add a little bit more. Fun. Now I'm gonna take my brush and wipe this off. And we're gonna go in with the darker shade now. And you can see that that brown kind of lends itself to the purple anyways. And we're just gonna go ahead and start to tap over it. Whoa, we have fun. So if you've ever struggled with purple, that base makes a difference. So many moons ago, there was a time that I was young and I had to learn how to make the most affordable palettes, or the most affordable single drugstore shadows kind of really work for me and to their absolute best. So things that I would save up for are eyeshadow bases or concealers or things that would go underneath to make things work better. Kind of what I'm showing you here. This is a delightful palette, but even super high-end purples, they sometimes suffer. So I learned techniques that would make things work better for me where I wouldn't struggle. And then also the other thing that I would always invest in, brushes. And if you still get a little bit of patchiness, say right there, right here, I'm gonna grab it on the very tip of the brush. I grabbed a wispity wisp, and I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna grab some more. Don't be afraid to layer. This is where you just gotta trust it. And then go ahead and drag it out because I can clean that up. Right there, see that? So all I need to fix and blend is right there. With this level of packing and intensity, fallout is perfectly normal. But I do want you to notice something I have not done. I don't know if I can handle Green Day at this ripe old age. But one thing I haven't done is a lot of swirling and a lot of back and forth. And that's because I'm trying to work with this level of intensity, this packing and control. So one thing you will get is fallout, but that just never bothered me, and it never made me look at a product like it's a bad product. Technique is going to do this, especially with this type of intensity. So I am going to take my fluffy brush and I'm going to go into this very first shade that we started with. And I'm going to start to, and that's all from just tapping, okay? That's just the same shades. I haven't added any more. And I'm just going to blur that. Look at that blur. It's just, I was saying, it's just like when we use a shade close to our skin tone to blur. This one is the lightest, and it's still friends with all of the colors that we have on our eye. So it becomes our blur shade. Look at this difference, it's so pretty. These are the two shimmer shades in the purple row from the ColourPop. I like them. I think we're gonna go with them. I think it's raining again. It has been raining here for a week straight, and it rains off and on all day long. I live in a rainforest. Actually, before we get our shimmer on, let's take a whisper of this shade, fluffy brush, and a whisper of this shade. I'm not sure how much I just picked up. I'm a little scared. So what I do when I'm scared is I just give it a little tap. I'm gonna start in the heavier pigmented areas, and I'm just going to smooth all of this together. Even put a little bit there. It just kind of melts the white. We're gonna clean this up, but you can see it kind of melties. Let's do a little bit of a tacky base in the center so it really grabs the shimmer. I'm still trying to find something to replace this milk one. Haven't quite yet, but I'm actively looking. I'm gonna take a little bit, smooth that out. Nice. And then I'm even gonna take some in the center here. And then other side. I also feel that these more wild makeup looks are more about knowing it's okay to leave that. See how awful that looks? That's okay. It's really about knowing what to work on and what not to worry about. Now, let's take this shade, C30. These are actually really, really, really smooth. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start to place that. Oh yeah, I'm glad I went with that color here. Tap it over into this shade a little bit, into the dark matte. I'm gonna pick up more of the same shade. Same thing on this side. Oh, this is so pretty. And then I'll wipe my brush off on Sheila. Sheila's always here. And then remember the lighter shade? That's gonna go in the center. Pretty. Now I'm going to take the E27, just making sure I didn't have too much on it, and I'm just going to soften the shimmer. And then I'm even going to soften it into the center shade. Just help everything become friends a little bit more. Nice little introduction. How pretty that is. This you can do some circular motions with. These shimmers aren't quite as fussy. Now we're about to start cleaning up. It's gorgeous. So I have my micellar water here, and I'm just gonna start to tap away the more heavy fallout. Just a nice tap. And then once I get over here, I'm gonna switch to a brush, which I'm gonna show you. But for this heavier stuff, it helps to have Sheila and micellar water. There we go. Now let's take our E29. And now we're gonna start to fluff and melt this instead of doing a harsh line. Don't forget, you can take off any excess. Isn't that fun? I'm just going to use Violet gel liner from Jones Road. I'm not going to do a wing. I've been winging it quite a bit. So I'm just going to really work this into my lashes. Make sure I don't have any gaps and just make sure it's nice and smudgy. All this mega lash, and I'm doing my little halfies. I think these are my favorite. Lily Lash is self-adhesive, but my favorite style, which is Daydreamer. My little trinkety lashes. Get on there. Perfect. I'm gonna go extra peachy because this is really pulling some purple and blue. This is gonna really counteract it. And believe it or not, this will give us a brighter under eye. I know, it just sounds too wild. But whenever you can really correct, it's better. Now I'm gonna take this in here. I'm even gonna take a little bit in here. Watch that. Correct that. And the reason I'm using a darker shade, so normally I wear Cool Sunrise, which is almost a concealer on me, but I'm using this one, which is a true corrector. It's much too dark if I wear it alone, but since it is so dark, it's going to really counteract and correct the blue and the purple that the purple pulls underneath my eyes. I want to use Outdoor Beige today, double wear. only because I want to try the, well, I love it, and it's Fair on Monday, so I want to go more full coverage. But I also wanted to try out the Pat McGrath spray again and see what I was doing wrong with that. Maybe it was me. We shall see. Should do it. C42. Look at that match. That is hooting and hollering. And then while I have you here, we're running this amazing promotion. It made me think of it because I'm using the C42 and I'm going to use the D1. So we paired these two because I know we're out of the D2. So we thought this would be a really nice pairing. Ben took this picture, by the way. He was like, do you have any expired makeup? And I said, you bet I do. So he took this picture, and this is not AI. He did this, and I'm really proud of him. And he's going to be embarrassed when he watches this slide. But he takes all of the pictures, and I love him. He's so talented. Okay, back to blending. Speaking of Ben, he just texted me, and he said, 5-minute coffee break. I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do this before I do concealer. That way I can kind of blend it into the concealer. And this is definitely a bronzer shade. Let's see, what do I want to use to blend this? Oh, look at that, won't you? Now let's do some concealer. Not gonna need quite as much underneath my eyes because that corrector is gonna do a nice job. And I'm using this very heavy today because I thought we could do a little bit of sculpting. Well, listen who it is. It's King Snorty. If you're wondering why you haven't been hearing him lately, that's because he has been staying in his daddy's room because his daddy got a new chair and he loves it and it's super comfy. And then Ben puts a bed in that chair. Honestly, it's absolute chaos. Just chaos. I feel like this one's a little too floppy. The brush. And I'm blending out my Natasha Denona concealer. And this is a prototype. I don't know, I feel like it's too floppy. I like a hair more density. No, he's looking for his granny. Did you hear him? But what I think this might be good for, let me wipe off any excess. Just a little bit, melt that a little bit more. And then I'm just going to take the C42. Yeah, I think I like this brush. I just like more density. I don't like a lot of flop in brushes because I feel like you lose control, pigment. You just kind of lose the product. And this is back to the drawing board just a little bit. drinking coffee. Okay, I really like this. That was really sculpty and perfect. I also like the density on this one a lot. I don't like the hair that I have put here. Who wants to see Ulysses hair? One thing you're not gonna have here with my brushes is shedding. But one thing we absolutely have in this house is cat hair shedding. Now let's finish up underneath here, but this is a really helpful tip. We're gonna finish up before we set. That way, if we mess up, more cat hair, if we mess up, we can fix it. We're in such a better state to fix it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take an E27. I'm gonna take the darkest shade from the ColourPop, and I'm just gonna press it here. See, we got a little hair fallout, that's fine. But again, it's better to do it now. It's so pretty. Press, press, press. Oh, Ben's in his meetings. Doug's wanting back in. I'm gonna show you how to get that. It's not even scary. Ain't nobody being scared here. Oh Lord, I gotta shut the door. All we have to do is take a spoolie. Oh gosh, it's so much easier at this point. And then just grab your brush that you use your concealer and then press it back in. You can see it's not mixing or melting. We got it off. If you need to add a little bit more concealer back, that's fine. But you should be absolutely good to go. Now, what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna worry about putting, let me show you. This is what I was talking about. I'm just going to take a black waterline pencil. This one is for your waterline. It's from Urban Decay. I love this formula. Beautiful. So there, you see how we have our transition? It's easier to come from the waterline than it is to come from underneath here and really try to blend and dull, or even start with that dark of a shade. It's easier to start with your kind of middle of the road shade. And then notice we're leaving the center open. Nice. Let's go ahead and do our setting. This has been probably one of the greatest makeup redemption stories to me in makeup history. I like the pressed version. And remember, this is not the same one that's in Europe. This is a totally different formula than that one. But this has been one of the greatest redemption stories. I love it way more than even the original, the one that I've been using since 2017. I'm going really heavy with it today. Remember, Feral Monday. Now I'm taking this one. This is the puff brush. And I'm gonna lightly set on top of the bronzer so we don't turn it gray. I used to set with a puff a long time ago over bronzers. And I used to wonder, why do I hate the way it looks now? It looks so dull and ashy and muddy. It was me, that was the problem. Use a brush, a fluffy brush, and you'll get a lighter application, but you're still gonna get it really nice and set. This is actually beautiful, and I highly recommend it for an inner corner highlight. If you're into that sort of thing. This is from Urban Decay. I'm just looking for the shade. It's called Top Off. This is one of their new stick shadows, and this is delightful. Look at how pretty that is and how easy that is. And all I'm doing is just a couple little taps, and it just instantly brings it to life. And it looks so pretty with really all kinds of eyeshadow looks. I'm gonna swatch it here so you can see it. It's really intense, but it does have a pretty translucent base. See how you can still see my skin? It's gorgeous. In fact, I'm going to try to narrow it down because I want to take some of these with me. They're just so easy to use and throw on. I'm trying to decide which ones I want to take. I'll swatch them and I'm going to figure it out, but I'm going to put all of them in my bag, and we'll probably wind up taking all of them. I don't need all of them. We're going to whisper. It's better. And then I'm going to take my powder foundation. This is the MAC one. I'm using this one because it has more coverage, and I'm just going to kind of melt it in there a little bit. Finish these edges over here. Melty, melty. Look how good that looks. Kind of continues it into the look. By the way, do y'all remember when you saw an ad for the waterline pencils from Urban Decay? Still using them. Remember when you saw an ad for this? The MAC, the new formula? Look at the dent in the middle. Still using it. Remember when you saw an ad for this? Use it every day. Those ads. I'm not going to do something if I'm not actually using the product. It makes no sense. I will look like a goofball. Is ColourPop Crybaby still around? It was always one of my favorites. I'm going to put it in the center. I don't have a sparkly purple, so I'm going to have to do it this way. Remember, it's Fair Monday, so I'm going to use a couple different things. I'm going to do Crybaby in the center, and then I'm going to blend out the edges with, not that, because I can't dadgum find it. Oh, there it is. Mycosis. Just these edges. Not going over the black, just kind of something to ground it. And this is a really good idea. I just stabbed myself in the eye, but I'm fine. This is a really good idea for your most simple looks. Most of us have more than one eyeshadow or eyeliner pencil. So put 3, put lightest, and then have it kind of just gradually transition outward. It's so much fun and rather easy. Now let's go ahead and take Crybaby out here as well. This was always one of my favorites. I don't know if it's still around, unfortunately. She's a little dried up, but she's seen things. I think this will be pretty with it. I just dug this out of the drawer. I always like peach and purple together. Oh, that's beautiful. What a smooth, pretty formula. I might need to drag these out. I really love that House Labs redid these. I like them smaller too. In fact, I am going to take this with me. But I also like that they aren't pressed as hard, so they pick up beautifully now. And pickup is very important. I'm just going to put a little bit, not on top of the bronzer, but kind of right under it. And then a little across my nose. It's such a small amount. It's seems silly, but it really makes things, even at this stage, look really, really natural because the sun naturally hits us there. I'm going to take this gel liner again, the violet shade, and just add a little bit more depth. And then we should have a pretty good halo situation. And I'm going out of the lash line. Pretty. One thing I love is a milk chocolate lip liner. I love it. I just think it's scrumptious and delicious. This one is new from Lawless. I believe it's a new shade. It's called Kiss. That's the shade. I'll link it for you. And I'm gonna do a rough draft. Oh yeah. All right, we got our rough draft. And what that means is we got something for the lipstick to blend into. Let's get wild. Okay. Now, we're gonna take our lip liner. And I'm gonna continue to blend. These are super creamy, by the way. You know what I need is a lip brush. I don't feel like we use lip brushes enough. Now hang on though, I'm gonna top it with a gloss, although it is Fair Monday. Kinda just wanna leave it like this, but I'll put a gloss on. I'm really gonna put this in the center to really make the lips pop. And then we're gonna top it with a gloss. I don't know what gloss yet. This is my favorite gloss formula out of all of the gloss formulas at the moment. Scrumptious, delightful. This is a very true gloss formula. It's not a lip oil, but it's still not sticky because there's been innovation. Oh, I love a nude lip. Okay, let's put on highlighter too. Y'all know I'm on my highlighter kick. So we haven't tried this one together yet, but I thought we could. We tried the NARS and I want to try. Apparently a lot of brands are coming out with highlighters right now. Okay, let's see what we got here. We're going to do a little pressity press. get it in there, get it all in the makeup is what I mean. And then we can kind of dust and diffuse. Oh, she's disappearing when the light's not hitting it. Oh, that's pretty. I can't decide which one I like more, the NARS or this one. Just kind of touching it to see what happens. That's gorgeous. Or is it the brush? Stunning. And what we're doing when we're pressing it in is a lot of times, now this has a ton of sparkle. I'm not saying there ain't gonna be texture, but I will say it's not the texture I remember of 2016. And let's just say my skin is not 10 years younger, it's 10 years older. So I do feel like there's innovation and a really nice finish here. But when, I'm gonna pick up a little bit more and just show you here, when you press it in first, it just kind of gets it into the skin, into the makeup, and then you can diffuse the edges. But essentially you want the most on that highest point, and that's gonna be the highest point for me through here. So yeah, pressing is always a good idea. It's just always a good idea. Let's see if we can get a little bit of actually, you know what? I have another one. Let's take it on this brush and just right there in the center, just see if we can pop it a little bit more. Yep. Gorgeous. Okay. Like I always say, we ran out of room. We're plumb out of room. Where do we put makeup now? I'm gonna start just drawing flowers on my forehead. All right, that's it for today. This was fun. I love makeup. I will do this until I can no longer do it anymore. And I will do these fun looks. I just love them and they bring me so much joy. It's truly like sitting down to paint on a canvas. I could probably do that too, and maybe one day I'll have to switch to that. But for right now, my face, it's just easy. I'm already set up for it. I'm not set up for a canvas. All right, I love y'all. Tomorrow I'm gonna do an ad for Typology here on my story, and I'll walk you through it. And I even wanna give you some more tips to use the products, kind of just talk you through them. So I'm really excited to do that. It's something that we know and love. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna post tonight, but I know I'm gonna post. And then I might have to take a day off this week from stories, only because I have to take a day to like run errands and get everything ready to be out of the country. So bear with me, but I will take some light. I'll do some tutorials while we're gone. I want to even do some shopping there. And by shopping, I mean makeup shopping, of course. I want to go to the drugstore and get some of the makeup that we can't get here. So I thought we could do a tutorial with that. I have some fun ideas, so I'm not going to be MIA, but I do have meetings and such while I'm there. So bear with me. I love you so much. Bye for now.